1996 at the Carrier Dome, and the Minutemen of Massachusetts answer the call to arms, moving to a 3-goal lead late in the game in their efforts to end 15 years of frustration against the Orangemen. But in the final minute, Syracuse launched one of their patented counterattacks. Rob Kavovic's goal cut the UMass lead to 1. Then Casey Powell's goal in the final seconds tied the game, sending it to overtime, and UMass coach Greg Cannella could feel it slipping away.
Casey Powell feeding. Price tries to clear out the shot, cannot. Rebound loose. Shot, score! A score! Rob Kavovich has won the game! It's over!
UMass versus Syracuse next.
On the right wing with a streak of speed. Powell comes on in, fans on their feet. Score! Oh my goodness, what a move by the Carthage Comet!
Sometime. Good ball movement by
great save.
Hobart and a terrific save by Gebhardt.
Oh, that was dead on. The Orangemen beat number 2 Johns Hopkins 14-13.
Super Sports presents from the Carrier Dome, Syracuse University Lacrosse. Today, the Orangemen hosting the University of Massachusetts Minutemen, who are ranked 11th. Syracuse is ranked 7th. The Minutemen come in with a record of 7-3. The Orangemen are 7-2. Hello, everybody. I'm Rob King, along with Dale Drypolcher. And Dale, a very interesting game for both teams. They both got off to terrific starts this year, and yet they've suffered through some midseason slumps.
Well, Syracuse lost to Rutgers, and a lot of people upset about that. The coaching staff's upset about that. I think the pressure's on the Minutemen. They want to make the playoffs. They've got to beat Syracuse. And unfortunately for Syracuse, they have 3 games this week, so there's a lot of pressure both teams. It's going to be an excellent game, I think.
Syracuse hoping to slip into the top 4, perhaps get a first-round bye. That not looking extremely likely right now.
Well, you know, they can do it tonight. It's the first step, so they got to do it. But there's a couple of people going to be in their way, too.
Let's talk about some of those people that are going to be in their way, starting with Harold Drum, the fine defenseman for UMass.
Harold Drum, 5'9", 180-pound defenseman. He's a candidate for the Defensive Player of the Year award. He has held, when he plays man-to-man defense, which is most of the time, he's held 10 people to a total of 5 goals. Now, here's a guy, Matt Cutaya. When they double-team and triple-team Casey Powell, this is the guy that they want to kick the ball out to, the midfielder, Matt Cutaya. 8 goals, 1 assist. Last 3 games, he's doing a great job. He's on a roll. These guys want to get back into a groove, and Matt Cutaya would really like to be a big help tonight, and I'm sure he will be.
Syracuse has won the last 17 meetings between the Orangemen and the Minutemen, dating back to 1981. And Greg Cannella, the UMass coach, talked about that and said this is the type of win his program needs to get to the next level.
You need to win some of those games you're not supposed to win, to get you over that edge. And really, that's what we want to do each year. But when you have the opportunity like you have today, that's where you want to bring it. They've beaten us 17 times in a row. And UMass has yet to have a victory, a win that has kind of catapulted them into the next level.
And we have seen some chinks in the Syracuse armor of late here at home. They're 106-9 at the Carrier Dome since it opened for play in 1980. But 5 of those losses have come in the last 4 years, and the Dome isn't what it used to be.
Well, we realize that we're vulnerable, and the winning and the myth we've built over the last 2 decades is a little thinner now. It used to be that most teams didn't feel they could beat us. They didn't look forward to the Syracuse game. They saw the Carrier Dome when they came up 81, and they thought, oh my goodness. And that's why my kids coined the phrase, the House of Pain, not the Carrier Dome.
Syracuse hoping this will be the House of Pain again today when they take on Massachusetts. Let's take a look at the USILA poll and go through that for us, Dale.
Well, it gets a little more important as the season goes on. Syracuse is at number 7. You want to be in those top 4 spots. You get the bye. People think you get to relax, get your legs under you again after the long season. So it's important for Syracuse to move up. Right now they're 7th. Maryland 1st, Princeton 2nd, Johns Hopkins, Loyola, Virginia, and Duke, then Syracuse. And, of course, we've got University of Massachusetts, a candidate also. Their fate is in their own hands. If they can win today, it would do a lot to propel them up towards that all-important invite to the big dance.
Top 12 team gets in. Massachusetts is ranked 11th. Syracuse with games also this week against Georgetown and Hobart. But first things first, it's Syracuse UMass when we return next on Super Sports. Syracuse Lacrosse is brought to you by Brine Lacrosse. Welcome back to the Carrier Dome, where the Syracuse University Orangemen getting set to take on the University of Massachusetts Minutemen. Take a look at today's starting lineups for each team as you see the crowd roaring their approval for the nice national anthem. Mike Janowitz, one of the leading scorers. He's someone we're going to be keeping an eye on. He has 20 goals. John Madigan, McKeefrey, Martin Zguski, and Mike Del Percio for Massachusetts. He leads the team with 22 goals. Konigsberger, Doherty, Drum, and Kasalakis, John Kasalakis, one of the best goaltenders in the country. Save percentage of 59.5%, part of UMass's great defense, which ranks second in the country. For the Syracuse University Orangemen, take a look at their starting lineups for today, and some familiar faces: Ryan Powell, Casey Powell, Devin Tarcangelo, Matt Kutaya, Tim Burns getting the nod today over Coyote, and also Ira Vanterpool is in the starting lineup. Rule, McCartan, Sheedy, and Jason Gebhardt will be in goal for the Syracuse University Orangemen. And a couple things we're going to be looking at as you take a look at Jason's save percentage. Jason struggling a little bit of late, but the pace of this game, the tempo of the game, Dale, is going to be one of the most telling, I think, probably indicators of who's going to have the upper hand in the play today.
Well, nobody really likes to run with Syracuse, but I think UMass would like to not slow it down intentionally, but take their time, be patient, and start out getting a face-off. And as that progresses, we'll get the matchups, and there should be some dandies. But let's see what happens on the face-off.
You can see Syracuse has won 17 in a row against Massachusetts. The Minutemen would love to see that streak end today, of course. And we are set for the opening face-off. And we have Jason Denneker out there for Syracuse, and Jeff Seals for the Minutemen, and Denneker comes away with it. Carries into the offensive zone, looking to spring immediately to the attack. Pass over to Ryan Powell, he can't control, loose ball now. Picked up there by Kutaya, can't control, still on the ground. Casey Powell scoops it up for Syracuse.
They want to settle that down now. They don't want to get a poor shot off. They want to get their defensive people off. They want to get Abrams off. They want to get Burns on.
And here comes Burns as you say that. Vanderpool has it. Now to Kutaya, working it around the perimeter. Starting out in man-to-man. Massachusetts is. They will sag back a little bit, trying to protect that middle in front of John Kasalakis. And now Syracuse's Matt Kutaya looking to start the offense. Getting in deep, looking. Turning, fires, his shot is off the mark, but Ryan Powell back for Syracuse, and they'll retain possession.
One thing Syracuse wants to do is get on Kasalakis early. They feel that if he makes a couple of saves, big saves, his confidence really builds, and if you can get to him early, you have a better time of it.
Here's Casey Powell going to work on Harold Drum. Drum, one of the best defenders in the country. Powell looking in, double team, so he gives it up to Vanderpool in tight, and his shot off the mark. He races for the ball and will get there first, but boy, because of the double team, good quick passing, Vanderpool open. Take us through it, Dale.
Well, Powell did a great job of giving it up after they had double teamed and slid over, and then they tried to get the ball in, but they got good backup to get the ball back. So they've taken 2 shots and had backup every shot.
But Kasalakis might have gotten a piece of that shot too. Vanderpool on the move now, trying to save it from going out. Backhands it in play, scooped up there. Syracuse retains possession.
Nice strip.
And then it's right back the other way, so here comes Massachusetts on the attack for the first time.
So Casa, number 43, did a nice job of stripping that ball. Big stick midi.
Now we have a stop and play, a whistle, and it's going to go back to Syracuse.
Yeah, must have been offsides.
One of the matchups we're going to be looking at very closely, Harold Drum, who we talked about, the outstanding defenseman for Massachusetts. He's only allowed in man-to-man situations 5 goals all year long.
Yep.
Last person to score more than 2 goals against him, Casey Powell. He scored 3 last year. Here's Tim Burns moving in, his shot off the mark. Casey Powell there first, and Syracuse will get it back.
You know, one thing you're looking at, Syracuse getting shots off, they're getting backup. That's good. They are taking shots and keeping the ball in this end of the field.
Ryan Powell trying to set a screen for brother Casey. Casey moving in, goes back to Ryan the other way. Quick shot, and he scores! Ryan Powell off the double team gets the pass from Casey, wide open, and skates in for the score.
It was all in placement, and he did the perfect job of placing it. Watch, there's Casey. Now Ryan comes around, he goes subway for the first goal of the game. There's the pass, nice fake. Not a really hard shot, just well placed, and Syracuse goes up 1-0 as Ryan Powell gets his 24th. But a nice job of looking and giving the ball up, and then a nice job of going low on Kasalakis.
Ryan's 24th goal this season. He is 4th in the country in points. Ooh, big collision there. Still on the ground, and Drum trying to come away with it. He's checked with that big stick. Drum being chased, gives it up to Kasalakis. Casey Powell looking to go on him, but they're able to clear out. Haven't officially cleared the zone yet, now they do. Carrying in on the attack is PG Massey. Massachusetts will pull back to get their offense set up, and they will, we suspect, have a very, very deliberate pace here offensively.
Glatzelin, number 6. Right away we see him in.
Percio and Martins playing catch, and now everybody comes on. Jeremy Gusky, the last to come on offense for the Minutemen. And this is Gusky with the ball. Gusky passing off. He was checked there by Soffarelli and moving it slowly around the perimeter. This is Madigan. And a quick pass in front. His man was open and eluded him, though. Moving in on Gephardt. Shot. Good save by Gephardt. UMass retains control, however. Now they'll reset on offense. This is Mike Janowicz. Janowicz moving in. His shot goes wide. Massachusetts there with plenty of backup. 2 men behind the goal there.
Rule not playing, not starting for Syracuse. Josh Rule not in there at this point in the game. Was listed as a starter. They get it out.
McKeefrey with a pass, and the shot goes wide there by Chris Martins. But UMass retains control.
Rob, they've gotten about 4 shots in about 40 seconds. They're really going to try to put the pressure on Gebhardt, and they've had good backup, as you mentioned. They've gotten the ball back every time.
Madigan now resets out to Jeremy Gusky. The freshman, a very young attack for Massachusetts. An experienced defense, but a young attack. They are hoping their defense will carry the day for them. Syracuse leads 1-0. We are just about 4 minutes into this game. UMass working it around the perimeter. This is Jeremy Gusky, the freshman with it. Goes all the way over to Martins. Here comes Martins moving in now. Nobody open. He'll retreat. Now puts another move on. Martins looking, has nobody. Gives it back up to Madigan. Madigan all the way back out again to Gusky. Gusky going to work on John Matthews. Matthews with the check. Matthews lost his footing. Here comes Gusky moving in. Matthews recovers, but we're going to have a penalty call.
Hold, 30.
So Syracuse will be down a man. Take another look at this.
Well, he did all that he could. He got beat. And so what he does is he comes around. Alexander says, I'm not going to give up the goal. I'll take a chance on a hold. And that's exactly what he did while he waited for the slide to come over. But they will be a first man-up opportunity for University of Massachusetts. They are converting at about 37% of their man-up.
But the opponent's man-up for Syracuse converting at 74%. So that is an extremely high rate, not something that I'm sure Roy Simmons is going to be very pleased about. I'll make that 32%. We had a misprint in our program. Shot here, and it's saved by Gephardt. Beg your pardon. Thank you for pointing that out to me, Dale. I thought that was a little high.
It would really be good if you converted 3/4 of your man up. That would be great. Yeah, 40% is usually pretty good, and it's about, I think, 37. But at this point, they've got about 4 seconds left in this man up, and the ball's down.
They lost it, and it's still on the ground. Nobody's come up with it yet. Massachusetts looks like they're going to get it, and they do. This is Madigan coming away with it. They reset the offense to Gusky behind the net.
A little confusion now as the penalties elapsed. Now they got to pick up, and everybody's goes back to man now, and they find everybody where they want them.
Everybody's got their man now, and Massachusetts resets. Alex Raichopi with the ball, giving it up now. They will be patient in moving to the attack once again. This is Mike McKeefrey, the junior. McKeefrey being checked by Soffarelli. McKeefrey moving in. Quick pass, off the mark, back again, blocked out in front, another stop and play, and it's going to be Syracuse ball.
Got in the crease. Got a little problem. Raichopi got his foot in the crease, but Syracuse, nice job there. I'm telling you, Gebhardt looks fast to me right now. He really is reacting well, and he's having a good game so far. It's early, but they've taken a lot of shots at him.
1-0 Syracuse. We are approaching the 9-minute mark here in the first half. And Massachusetts, we talked about this before the game, slowing it down. Long time of possession there. A long time for Syracuse to be without the ball.
Although I will say one thing, they took a lot of shots at one point, but had good safe shots with a lot of backup. So they took some time off the clock, but they didn't get a goal. That's going to be a pass. Syracuse going to lose that. As you don't see Powell miss that too often, right off the top of the stick. So it will now be Massachusetts ball. And Syracuse riding a little bit harder than I've seen them during the season and trying to force some errors on the clear.
We have seen Syracuse be able to win low-scoring games. They can adapt to that I don't think Massachusetts, though, Dale, can adapt to a high-scoring game.
Well, they'd have to get into a running match, and I don't think that's what they want to do. And ball out again, down on the carpet.
Picked up there by John Madigan as he was not really tightly checked. And Madigan looking behind his net, looking for Janowitz, but Janowitz is covered tightly by Sheedy.
Yeah, they're going to wait till they get their people, and they're just taking the time until they get Choppy back in.
This is Jay Negus, the junior who scored 5 goals in the last 2 games. So Negus has been a real factor for Massachusetts of late on the offensive end. He's a junior. He's being guarded by short stick stopper John Matthews, and Negus will come all the way out and start to set the offense. Matthews with a good hit. Matthews dogging Negus. Still staying on him. Negus still has the ball. Alexander on him very tightly. And Alexander's efforts are being lauded by the crowd.
It's good man-to-man defense.
This is Raichopi now. Raichopi looking to move in. Coyote on him. And Raichopi is denied. Well, Syracuse really playing some strong man-to-man defense. The poke check by Coyote. Loose ball. Madigan picks it up. He goes down. He's tripped. We have a stop, and it's going to be Syracuse ball again.
Bad pick, moving pick. Syracuse player down right away. Oh, it's a knee. It appears to be 18.
Oh, and that's
yes,
well, you hope that's not the same knee McCartan hurt in the Loyola game. He hurt his right knee and missed the last 3 games. And McCartan is down. Take a look at the top right portion of your screen as we try to show exactly what it is that happened here.
Ball down, and everybody's going for it. There you see him. Yep.
And
Looks like it might be an ankle. I don't know. We'll look. Here's Coyote. Now the ball's on the ground. You're going to see McCartan come in from the right. There he is. You can see the left leg's the one with the brace on it. He just got knocked down. Yeah, I don't know if it is. He grabbed his knee. He's walking all right. Yeah, he's limping a little bit on that knee.
I'll tell you what. 3 weeks to recover, 3 games to recover from a torn ACL is not a lot of time. I can guarantee you that knee, whether it's safe to play on or not, is going to be sore.
Yes, absolutely. And perhaps a little weak when you put that pressure on it. And he went down, and you got to give McCartan all the credit in the world for coming back and trying. It looks like he is going to be sitting for a while. And they got Josh Rule back in 17.
Just past the midway point of the first period, Syracuse has gotten a goal from Ryan Powell. They lead 1-0, and now they carry in. This is John Matthews, number 20, with the ball. Matthews waiting for his offense to get reset. Now he'll just carry to the corner and finally gives it up there. Syracuse will set the offense. This is Ryan Powell with the ball. Powell out there with Matt Kataya and Casey Powell up front on attack. Here's Ryan moving in behind the net to Kataya. Kataya fakes, goes down low. Nice save there. Picked up by Syracuse in the loose ball. They lost it, but we have a whistle. And it's going to go back to UMass. Kaselakis with a nice save there on Ryan Powell. And UMass winds up with the ball.
Yeah, they had a pick problem, and that's going to cost them possession. Jeff Lowen, 15, football player, wide receiver, is going to play a little defensive short stick for the Orangemen.
Second game for Jeff, coming back after Syracuse spending time in their spring practices. Boy, Syracuse coming way out defensively.
Well, what they'll try to invert sometimes, they'll bring their attack and put them out on top, and then your defensemen been playing man-to-man have to come way out. It's a strategy to get the big sticks way out on top. Right now, it's just they're waiting again to get everybody in. Syracuse gets a big stick in, or a defensive stick, I should say. Alexander's in.
This is Lowe working on Martins now. And the University of Massachusetts has it in their attack zone as they want it now, and will slowly get to work. This is Mike Janowitz. Janowitz over to Martins. Martins being guarded by Lowe. Tries to put a move on him. Lowe has the size advantage, and now he flips it all the way back out to Gusky.
Set a pick out there.
Here comes Gusky now. Gusky looking in, whirling, trying to get a shot off, and it's no good, but there's no backup, and Jason Gephardt tracks it down, calls quickly for the ball, and he wants to get things going as Gusky trots off the field. Syracuse looking to move to the attack. UMass has outshot Syracuse 7-4 early on. There's Vanderpool working in.
And I was out early, and Gebhardt was getting some work here before they turned the lights on in the dome, and looks like it's paid off. He looks real sharp early.
This is Tim Burns. Burns got the start. Coming in, his shot high, and plucked out of the air by Drum. Nice job. He goes to Kasalakis, whose outlet pass is deflected from behind. Here's Burns now feeding in. Over to Casey Powell, he shoots and he scores! Casey Powell with the second goal of the game for the Syracuse Orangemen as Massachusetts couldn't clear. Always the key to try to clear, particularly against the Orangemen.
You're absolutely right. They didn't get the ball 12 yards up the field, and it was intercepted. And Syracuse knew what to do. They're looking for Casey Powell open on the wing, and they get it to him. Not much of an angle, but he puts it through on the short side as Kasalakis couldn't do much. Watch, there's the pass by Burns, then another pass, and there's Casey Powell. Not much of an angle, but he got it in, and Syracuse takes a 2-0 lead, 4:59 left first quarter.
36th goal of the year, best in the country, and Syracuse, Denneker again winning the faceoff. He will carry in. Being checked hard there, but Denneker controls. Casey Powell, he had about a 4-inch slot. Kasalakis really closed down the angle, as you mentioned, but boy, just a superior shot from the best player in the country.
Well, that's what you want your best player to do. And now he's out. He's got way out on top with Drum.
Casey moving in, looking, whirling, faking the pass, shoots and scores. Casey Powell,
what a fake!
Taking it to Drum and scoring very quickly the third goal of the game for Syracuse. They lead 3-0. Casey's got 2. Ryan has 1. Take a look.
I can't fault Drum on the other goal, but watch the fake with Powell. Watch what he does with his head. Whoop! No, it's still on my stick. That is just one-on-one. He won that one. Watch it. Watch the head fake from Powell. Yeah, I got rid of it. I'm watching to see where the pass went, and he took both of those guys on that fake. Great job by Casey Powell. 2 goals and an assist.
I think it's very difficult for players coming up against somebody the caliber of Casey Powell, who's in a league of his own. You know, you're used to trying to help out your defenders once your guy gets rid of the ball, but Casey's so good, you really just need to focus your attention on Casey Powell alone.
Syracuse getting that ground ball and starting the other way. Long face-off before they finally came up with it. Syracuse did. Abrams, 43, helped out on that. Now Syracuse takes it down, starts it with Powell back behind.
Casey with Drum on him, and he'll go back to Ryan now, and Syracuse gets everybody in the zone they want to. That includes Matt Kutaya and Tim Burns. This is Burns with the ball. D'Arcangelo working around the perimeter over to Casey, now to Ryan. Vanderpool moving in, but Ryan elects to go back around the perimeter again. 3:45 and counting. Syracuse leads 3-0. This is Matt Kutaya on the move. Kutaya, his shot just high and wide. Ryan is there for backup, and Syracuse get the ball back.
Nice job. You see, he did off the pick. He came off the pick and hesitated, and then gained a half a step when he hesitated behind a pick. Nice job by Kutaya, a guy we mentioned at the top of the show. Shots 8-7 now. Syracuse takes the lead, but more importantly, they have 3 goals.
And now this is Casey moving way out, and Drum on him. Some 40 yards from the goal. Casey spinning, Drum checking, looking. Casey goes back the other way, and Drum stripped him. Beautiful job by Harold Drum, and he'll carry in the other way. This pass, Janowitz had to dive for it. And Massachusetts looking to get things set up. Casey Powell finds himself in the defensive end, stripped back the other way. Beautiful job by Burns. Burns comes up with it now, looking. Burns will carry in for Syracuse. Looking, stopping. Oh, Tim Burns, the freshman, showing some confidence out there. He goes over to Vanderpool. Ira Vanderpool looks, and now Syracuse is set up in their own zone. Kutaya with the ball behind the net. Now they're going to counting.
Now they set out on top there, and they're going to try to screen and do a little isolation here with Kutaya as a midfielder running from behind.
Kutaya behind the net to Casey Powell. Casey looking way out in the slot over to Vanderpool now. Moving around, his shot is saved by Kasalakis. Casey there for the backup. 2:25 remains in the first.
Syracuse being very efficient, taking shots, getting backup. Last game we did, Rob, didn't have backup, lost the shots after only 1 shot. They got it back. They're playing very, very well at this point.
Here's Kutaya now. Kutaya moving in. Check there, spins, goes back behind the net to Ryan Powell. Ryan Powell out to Vanderpool. Vanderpool eludes him. Tries to scoop it up and does.
Got to make that catch. That's a tough catch, but you got to make it.
Here's Burns now. Burns with a hesitation move, stops as he's double teamed and wisely gives back to Vanderpool. Vanderpool behind his own net to Ryan Powell. Ryan Powell looking. Nothing there. Spins back the other way, finds something, his shot off the mark. We have a stop and play, and Ryan crept into the crease there.
Yeah,
It's going to go back to Massachusetts.
Took a small sojourn through the crease, which would cost him the possession, but good hustle, and Powell made a good move. And right now, the Massachusetts can continue the same way they've been playing. You get another goal or two on them, and they're going to have to change this slow-down offense. Like right there. Oh, good save.
It's Henry Wilson moving in. Wilson's got it back again now. He lost it. Loose ball comes to McKeefrey for Massachusetts. McKeefrey and Madigan out there on attack, along with Henry Wilson. Seeing his first play of the day, and boy, just a sloppy transitional pass there. Eludes Negus for a minute, but he comes back and gets it. Negus moving into the attack. He is checked by Matt Kutaya. We have 1:05 and counting left in the first period of play. Syracuse with a 3-0 lead. Massachusetts working slowly. Right Choppy now with the ball. Right Choppy looking, trying to get something going. Looking, stopped there by Alexander. He'll pitch it back out. This is Wilson again.
Syracuse playing good defense, good body position, good man-to-man. Oh, almost a Ward getting that hand up there, but Syracuse right here is going to be a test.
Quick pass in front, knocked down there by Gephardt. Controlled again behind the net by Raichopi, and Raichopi gives it back up to Jay Negus, now with 23 seconds left. Negus trying to go to work on Kutaya. Kutaya checking him hard. Negus looking for an opening. Ridden off the play again by Kutaya. And Kutaya staying right with it on Negus. 12 seconds now remain in the first period. Now Negus falls to the ground. Gephardt's got it. We'll look for a long outlet pass. Casey Powell's got it. 4 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. And Casey, not enough time to get off the shot, but Syracuse, a fine defensive effort in the first period, blanking Massachusetts to take a 3-0 lead.
Well, you know, they just made some fine defensive efforts, as you said, but I got to be very impressed with Gebhardt. He has been very, very tough. And it's not like they haven't taken shots at him. They've taken a number of good shots. They look very, very strong so far.
Gebhardt has been strong, so have the Powell brothers. They have all 3 of Syracuse's goals. They lead 3-0.
Lots of times, if the goalie makes the first save, and it's a good one, you build a fire at him, and it's hard to put out. If you can put the first or second one by him, then you make him wonder about his defense, and he's wondering where the next shot's coming from. And this, we're trying to get to John and let him know that it could be a long afternoon.
Well, for John Kasalakis, so far it has been a long afternoon. As Roy Simmons said, here's Casey Powell going to work. What a fake on drum. Shoots and scores. Casey has scored twice, Ryan once, and this is where Casey stands on the all-time career goal list at Syracuse. They have Gary Gate and Tom Marachek, Tom Corey, and Casey Powell, 4th on that list, and you expect him probably to move to 2nd all-time. Casey Powell 5th on the assist list, and in the Georgetown game is on pace in the Georgetown game to set the all-time Syracuse points record. Loose ball here now.
Denneker had control of it, but he lost it.
Oh, a huge hit by Jason Denneker. He's going to get the flag, but boy, he certainly pumped up the crowd as he just pummeled Mike McKeefrey.
Unfortunately, he brought the arm up just a little over the shoulder pads, and that will cost him a minute. And, you know, you'd like to see the hit, but you want to make sure that you don't let him back in here. So it's going to be another man-up opportunity. They had 30 seconds before. This is the first minute opportunity for the Minutemen.
So a minute for the Minutemen to try to get something going here offensively. They were shut out in the first period by Jason Gephardt in a very aggressive attacking Syracuse defense.
If they can shut them down here, this would really, I think Syracuse would be picked up even more than they are now, but that's a very tough thing to do.
0 for 1 in the man up Massachusetts. That was a 30-second penalty earlier in the game. This is a minute penalty. Raichopi working it around. Now Raichopi's got it again. He is at the top of this zone defense against Syracuse, trying to get something going.
Open.
Pass into Janowicz. Save by Gephardt.
You can't relax now. You can't say great save. You got to go right back and play. There's still 22 seconds left, but that was a good save.
Del Percio now is up top. He moves it over to Gusky. Working it around, back to Del Percio. Gusky looks to shoot. Syracuse has got it packed in. 9 seconds, 8 seconds now left of this man advantage. Syracuse sending one out on the field. I guess the clock was wrong on the scoreboard, and the official timekeeper keeping it on the field says the penalty is over.
Yeah,
so
it was only 6-7 seconds early according to the clock. So Syracuse stops the extra man opportunity.
That's Jeff Lowe going to work defensively on Mike Janowitz.
Jeff Lowe catches passes on Saturday afternoons in the fall.
Couple 15s here going at it. And boy, a good switch on defense, aggressive switch and a big hit by Marshall Abrams. Now Syracuse moving into the attack. It's Rule. Rule with a pass to Kataya. Beautiful save. Ryan Powell right there, and he scores. No, but they're going to wave it off.
He's in the crease. Starts all over again.
Boy, Rule with the rush, and then the shot by Kataya. Powell right there, snatched it out of the air, and the rebound. He was in the crease, so it's waved off. It remains 3-0 Syracuse. 13-minute mark here of the second period. Massachusetts has been completely stifled on offense. They will now reset. This is Mike McKeefrey with the ball. McKeefrey, the junior, has 13 goals in the season, being guarded by Matt Alexander.
Alexander's been extremely tough with that short stick, that defensive short stick.
There's McKeefrey on the move. Spins, falls down, gets back up. Alexander on him. Riding him off the play. Still trying to ride him off the play. McKeefrey looking for something.
Ward, that's a Ward.
We have to stop on the play, and warding off by McKeefrey.
That, you got to give Alexander credit. He's been pushing him and shoving him, and he has caused him to get a little frustrated. He brought the arm up right in front of the referee, and Syracuse gets the ball back.
And they carry in. It's Alexander. Alexander will help set the offense, then trot off the field for a replacement. Coyote now has it. Working it around to Chris Cordisco.
Now these are the guys you got to get some. You got to let the other guys play. You can't just have the Paul brothers in there. You got to get some production out of this group, this midfield group. And with the Cordiscos and Coyote and that group, Kutaya's still in. You've got to get some offensive production out of it.
Cordisco brothers, Jeff is 39, Chris is 23. They are both out there. And this is Ryan Powell. He's out there with Casey Powell as well. And Matt Kutaya. That's the offensive set for Syracuse as they go to work. Still man-to-man defense from Massachusetts. Quick shot, saved. Getting his own rebound is Jeff Cordisco. They reset now. Ryan over to Casey. 11:30 remains in the second period. Syracuse leads 3-0. Casey Powell being guarded by Harold Drum. Moving in on Drum. Coming in hard. Moves into the slot, eludes a bunch of defenders. Finally, one gets a stick on Casey, but Ryan comes back up with it. Ryan looking to go to the attack. A flag is in the air. Ryan moving in. He's checked hard. Ball goes to Massachusetts, but with a penalty, it will come back to Syracuse and their first man up on the slash.
Slash City over there. That was an audio daily. When you hear that all the way up here, they got to call something. I saw the flag go. It was a heck of a hit, but it was a slash. So Syracuse goes man up.
First time this game, Syracuse will have the man advantage. Jamie Doherty gets a minute for slashing.
Syracuse very aggressive, as is Massachusetts, but when that ball's down, you're seeing a lot of white jerseys going after it.
Check out the season man-up total for Syracuse, 19 for 64, right around 30%. There's Ryan Powell. Looking to Vanderpool. Vanderpool fakes, now does go to D'Arcangelo. Back to Ryan, trying to move the ball around crisply. Syracuse has reset a new unit out there. Brian Soliday, one of those out there. Here's Ryan Powell and looking to Vanderpool. Back out to Ryan again. Quick down low pass to Kutaya. Fakes and scores. Matt Kutaya. Well, Syracuse just moving the ball beautifully around the perimeter. Then they found Kutaya down low, and Kasalakis was in no man's land, had no chance.
They took half the penalty, very patient. They took 30 seconds. They got off one shot, they got a goal. The guy we talked about at the top of the show, Matt Kutaya, out of Homer, takes one on the head, takes a left-handed shot as he brought the goalie out. Kasalakis had to take a step out, but they just, great passes, and they bypass one, and there it goes. Kutaya makes the step, he brings Kasalakis out and gets the goal. Now they go way back to Kasalakis.
Casey Powell hammers him, and it causes a turnover, but we're going to have a stop and play. Casey's like, why?
Unnecessary.
What?
They're going to call it unnecessary roughness.
Well, that's a close call. Take another look at it. It just looked like a good aggressive play.
Well, he's in the air. Yeah, that was not the best of calls.
The crowd does not like it, and they don't have
What?
they don't have the benefit of the replay. 1 minute, unnecessary roughness for Casey.
You know, if they ever showed a highlight reel of Casey Powell getting hit and not get some called, that one was rather mild.
Massachusetts 0 for 2 with a man up. So look at Greg Cannella, the Massachusetts coach, and he's got to have his concerns right now.
Well, they want to get right back in this now. If you can't answer when you're a man up, psychologically you got some problems here, and they're up by 4, Syracuse is, and now they're playing a man down. Oh,
shot, another save by Gephardt.
He's hot.
Boy, Jason Gephardt has been terrific. He'd been struggling and really worked very hard on the fundamentals in practice this week, trying to go back and see if there was some kind of flaw with his technique. And boy, all that extra work that he did in practice, showing up an hour early every practice this week, is paying off.
I told you he was out early before this game working at it.
Shot, no, another save by Gephardt. Oh, Jason Gephardt on fire. Here's Josh Rule, now goes all the way over, long pass to Sheedy. Sheedy floats it into the zone, and Syracuse will go on the attack if Kataya can chase that down, and he does. Matt Kataya with the ball, and he'll wait for Syracuse to reset offensively. Coyote back out there. Jeff Cordisco moving on. Chris Cordisco waiting his turn. Chris will check back in as well. First set, we haven't seen Casey Powell out there.
Kataya, midfielder, actually playing more like an attack man behind the goal.
Here's Coyote looking in for the attack.
Nice
Goes over to
pass.
Ryan Powell. Ryan stops. A little pass in front, tried to feather to D'Arcangelo, but Massachusetts quickly converged on that, and Kasolakis gets it, and a turnover. Big hit. Loose ball. Massachusetts has got it. This is Del Percio. Del Percio, a little flip pass ahead.
Oh, nice
Massey, and he has it taken away from him by Cordisco, Jeff Cordisco. Now Jeff moving in, looking, goes over to Chris. Down low, Ryan Powell looking. Goes back wide, shot by Kataya, and he scores. Matt Kataya to make it 5-0 Syracuse.
I think we picked the right guys to highlight today, as Kataya comes up with a nice left-handed shot from behind the cage. The second time he's done it, different situation, same result, as they work the ball left to right, take it around, bypass a shot, and Kataya just takes a crank, and he puts it by Kasolakis. And there goes the confidence that Coach Simmons talked about. Believe me, this game can go either way. It's not a lot of goals, but Syracuse momentum and aggressiveness is paid off at this point with a 5-0 lead.
5-0 at the 8:37 mark. Syracuse are better in the face-off. Denneker trying to corral this one in Syracuse. Ryan Powell looking for it, still batting around, and Powell knocked down now.
Well, that's more than
going to be a
push.
stop and play, and we're going to have a penalty against Massachusetts. Syracuse will get another man up.
Yep. That was a push and a half, but they give 30 seconds for it. It was a dandy. Ball down. This always happens. You can probably call one of these 90% of the time, but yeah, they kind of mugged him there, then stepped on him on the way by. But it was a good call. Push, and Syracuse up for 30.
Jeff Seals is the one that's going to be sitting out. I want to go back to that last sequence and talking about the struggles Syracuse has had this year when teams have really tried to do a number on Casey Powell and nobody else has been able to sort of step up and take that play. Well, Casey wasn't on the field there, and in about a stretch of 7 seconds or so, if that long, 5 quick, crisp passes, 5 different Orangemen touching the ball. Maybe Syracuse is better off for having gone through that little slump and trying to find other guys to score.
Well, you know, you make a good point, Rob, and they know that. They've been working on it, and it has worked very well.
Moving around out of Vanderpool. Vanderpool shot goes wide. Ryan Powell there for the backup. 8:03 remains in the second period. 10 seconds left, and the man up for Syracuse. And Ryan Powell will look to get the offense started. Ryan looking, Massachusetts sag back into his zone, waiting to get their last defender out there.
Now they're even.
They are at even strength. Quick pass over to Ryan Powell. He one-times it for the goal. Kataya to Ryan Powell, his second goal of the game. So Ryan, Casey, and Matt Kataya all have 2 goals apiece for Syracuse. And Massachusetts coach Greg Cannella has seen enough. He calls a timeout.
Well, the impressive thing on that, it was pretty much a one-on-one shot, but it was a great setup by Kataya. The left-handed pass all the way across the zone, and he just hits number 1, Ryan Powell, right where he should. And Powell, when you're one-on-one with the goalie, he's going to always end up on top. Ryan Powell, 2-2 today.
So you have Ryan Powell with 2 goals, Casey Powell with 2 goals, Matt Kataya with 2 goals. It is hard to figure out a way to stop everybody for Syracuse. Coach Greg Cannella talked about that before the game. It's not just Casey and Ryan Powell, it's everybody for Syracuse.
Well, you really have to prepare to, especially with Casey and Ryan and Matt Kataya, to really try to slow them down, to really try to limit their opportunities. And you're not going to shut them down completely. Those guys are great players.
Well, you're not going to shut him down at all. Today it looks like Kataya, beautiful pass to Ryan Powell on the doorstep, quick shot. Kasalakis just no chance at all.
No, he's a good goalie. They've been whipping him past him, and that was just a quick stick by Powell. That was a dandy.
7:49 remains in the second. Syracuse turning in an absolutely dominating effort. They lead 6-0. They have controlled the game in every facet.
Well, face-off would be good here. Let's see what happens. Procedure against Syracuse, so it'll be Massachusetts ball.
And Syracuse had changed face-up men there. Jason Denneker wasn't out, but that's all water under the bridge now as Massachusetts has got the ball. Jason Hines now with it. Being guarded closely by Josh Rule.
Rule putting some titanium on him there. He's a big guy.
Massachusetts looking to spread it way out. Here's Jay Negus now. Negus to behind the net, Mike McKeefrey. Junior being guarded there tightly and coughs it back up.
When you spread it out like that, you're trying to get some one-on-ones where you can beat somebody out up on top, close to the midfield, and see if you can't, get some cracks and make some passes or maybe go one-on-one. But it hasn't happened so far. One of the reasons is like Alexander right there, number 30, on the right side of the screen, playing great short stick defense.
Here's Negus looking for Henry Wilson. Wilson
right there
to turn it back out again as Alexander, as you mentioned just a moment ago, all over him. Now just a long shot, a difficult shot, not one you're going to score a lot of goals on by Right Choppy, but Massachusetts there for the backup, and they will retain possession. Mike Janowitz. Oh, Janowitz spins now, looking for a pass in low. Boy, Syracuse everywhere defensively and come up with a loose ball. Looking to clear. A little flip pass ahead and to Matt Alexander, and Syracuse has got the ball.
Glatzel, great job. The crowd applauds his effort as he picked up that ground ball and sets the Syracuse offense, and he goes back to the D.
Ryan Soliday out there on attack for Syracuse, along with Casey and Ryan Powell, and still setting things offensively. They're waiting for one more player to trot out there, and finally they do get some help.
Illegal substitution there for Massachusetts. We're going to get a flag. It's done by the bench official.
Quick pass down low. This is Soliday looking. Back out top to Ryan. Ryan over to Casey. Casey looking, snap pass, shot, and score. Syracuse scores again. They are absolutely on fire. That goal by Stuart Smith, the sophomore from Oak Park, Illinois, coming in for that goal, his first of the year.
Yeah, out of that lacrosse-powered Oak Park, Illinois. But I'll tell you what, the man knows how to shoot the ball. Watch him rip the net right there. As Syracuse feeds behind, and they hit him out on top, and Smith puts that one in and gives Syracuse a large lead. And at the point the penalty was wiped out, it was a technical on illegal substitution. He didn't go through the box, so.
Yeah, you can see Greg Cannella is wondering what is going on. You know what Ernest Hemingway said about Oak Park, Illinois?
What's that?
A town of broad lawns but narrow minds.
Oh, yeah. And at least one good lacrosse player.
Yeah, but that was years ago, so we don't want to say anything disparaging about Stuart Smith's hometown. Massachusetts trying to get something going on attack here. They have just been completely stifled by the Orangemen. This is McKeefrey. McKeefrey checked there by Glatzel. We know what Glatzel did last time. Massachusetts losing the ball way out top. Loose ball. Syracuse moving in hard. Del Percio comes away with it. Casey Powell taking a wave at him from the half-court line. Stop and play, and it's going to go back to Syracuse, or do we have a timeout? We do have a timeout by Massachusetts. 5:21 remains in the second period. It has been all Syracuse. They lead by a score of 7-0. Back with more Syracuse Lacrosse on Super Sports right after this. Welcome back to the Carrier Dome. That young fan saying Syracuse is #1, and today they certainly are. Jason Gebhardt, a terrific game in goal for Syracuse thus far. Massachusetts has been shut out 7-0. Syracuse with 2 goals each from Ryan Powell, from Casey Powell, and from Matt Kataya. And the first career goal for Stuart Smith, the sophomore from Oak Park, Illinois.
Great stat there, 17 ground balls to 11. Syracuse in the lead there. That's an important statistic because they have come up with some real important ground balls.
Now they're just dominating in every facet. Ground balls, face-offs. They have just done it all here to Massachusetts, and obviously that is shown on the scoreboard, 7-0. Guski now being checked hard. Guski trying to go to work. Now we have a penalty against Alexander. So Guski will try to reset the offense. Guski moving in. Checked still by Alexander. Got some help from Sheedy. Now quick pass out, and it's going to roll all the way out. And now the penalty will take effect. Let's see what the call is.
Should be 30 seconds. Push.
His hands are this
Or hold. Okay. Makes him a difference. They're all 30 seconds, but I'm telling you, he's playing tough defense. That's just good, tough defense by number 30. Matt Alexander out of Syracuse. Watch Alexander. Just playing good, tough defense. The penalty was before that, but they're now down a man. They call him on a hold.
Fans not liking the call, as you would expect, since it went against their beloved Orangemen. 30-second penalty. Massachusetts going to work. Boy, they need something. Down 7-0. UMass 0 for 3 in these situations today. That included a minute man up that Syracuse defused. Errant pass.
Yeah.
Trying to chase it down, and they can't. And they're going to say goes back to Massachusetts.
And they said it was a shot. It was deflected. But I'll say Gebhardt had an idea going after it. They got 8 seconds left on the penalty.
McKeefrey now all the way back out, and they try to set things offensively to Guski, back to McKeefrey. The penalty is over, and the shot is way wide.
Not a good shot
by John Madigan.
Madigan did not take a good shot there, and they didn't have any kind of screen on Gebhardt, so they take another 30-second. They're 0 for 4 now as Syracuse quashes that attempt.
And so McKeefrey sent it in to Guski. 3:50 remaining in the second period. Syracuse leads 7-0. Mike Del Percio.
Really spreading them out now, Rob.
Here's Chris Martins looking for something, and boy, he is being checked there very aggressively. Zaffarelli giving away some size, but not getting anything in the quickness department, evidently. Sheedy working defensively now. Quick pass, and boy, Syracuse just dogging Massachusetts defensively. They can't get a shot off, or a good one anyway. Guski now against Alexander looking. Still looking, still doesn't see anybody.
There's a cutter.
Guski moving in on Alexander. Now a double team comes over.
Yep.
Marshall Abrams helping out behind the back shot, and another save by Gebhardt. He stood his ground and made the save.
You're right, he did not go for any fake. You know it is a body save. He came up with the chest, the stick, bounced it out, and another good save for Gebhardt. Let's see if we can see it. Behind the back. There it is. Boom! Right off the belly. Take that save any day.
Boy, I think that would be a good indication that that little something around the midriff. You can see it.
Well, that's why they give you a chest protector too. Yeah, that's it's not a real safe position to be in if you don't like to get hit. But Jason Gebhardt has been spectacular today.
Boy, Syracuse taking on yet another ranked opponent against Massachusetts here. They are ranked number 11. They've got games coming up against Georgetown and Hobart. They play a murderous schedule every year. Coach Roy Simmons talked about that before the game.
One loss early in the season or mid-season, you can survive. But towards the end of the season, it might mean the playoffs. And once you're in the playoffs, a loss means your playoffs are over. So it's nice to have that fighting edge, and you only get that by playing the best.
And you take a look at Jason Gebhardt. He is hoping to lead Syracuse to glory again. Roy Simmons, what can you say about him? His 15 straight NCAA tournament appearances, a record, 18 tournament appearances, a record, 15 straight Final Fours, I should say. 6 national titles, no one's ever done that either. Syracuse taking on Hobart. You can see that this Friday, May 1st at 8 o'clock, and the Georgetown game will be aired Sunday, May the 3rd at 7 o'clock. Both big games. Hobart in desperate need of a win after having been pummeled by Duke on Saturday. Syracuse leading 7-0, 2:58. Jason Gebhardt coming way out of his net.
They should have taken a shot.
Unbelievable that they didn't, and Gebhardt falls on top of it. What were they thinking? Gebhardt left the net to double team. The double team failed, and Massachusetts not alert enough to get the shot off. Now here's Alexander looking, and Alexander's shot is saved by Kasalakis. Big hit. Oh, a big hit there. Syracuse retains possession now. Jeff Lowe is a football player, and he just showed a nice football move right there. A big collision. Syracuse comes back up with the ball. Casey Powell now works over to Ryan Powell. 2:20 remains in the second period. Syracuse leads 7-0. Setting up on offense, this is Brian Soliday. Soliday working it around the perimeter. Syracuse getting themselves set offensively. Stuart Smith back in, and Casey just had a mental flub there and lost the ball.
I think it was one of those, I know what I want to do, and I start doing it before the ball actually gets in my stick, and it'll be back to Massachusetts. Long pass downfield, intercepted.
So
Kutaya.
Yeah, Syracuse will move back on the attack now. Kutaya's got it. A new wave of attack moving in for Syracuse. I was looking to see Soliday's coming back out to him. Stuart Smith seeing all kinds of time here today early on.
One shot, one goal, let him go. He's right back where he was when he scored the other one.
Here's Soliday now, and 1:40 left. Syracuse looking for something offensively. You wonder if they'll be patient, but they rarely are. They always look for a good quick shot. Here is one. Shot and score. John Matthews with the 8th goal of the game for the Orangemen.
Well, you heard that Coach Simmons said you want to get on this goalie, you want to get on him early, and then they start to question their defense and things, and this would be a good time to start questioning that, because just Matthews takes a nice low shot, and you know what? That's one that he saw that he should have been able to stop. So Kasalakis really now, I think, got to be questioning himself a little bit. 8-0, 1:32 left in the first half. 4th goal of the year for Syracuse. Or for Matthews, I should say. Syracuse, as Massachusetts comes up with the loose ball, has already scored more goals than Kasalakis averages giving up in a game. He averages 7.22. The team averages under 7 goals against, or did until the Harvard game. And so now Syracuse with 8 goals in the first half. Doing it on the defensive end as well, as Mike McKeefe looking for something. And the thing I like is they're aggressive. They're not being passive. They are, every time that ball is down, they are going after it, and they are checking people and knocking people down, and that's what you got to see as you end up the last part of your season. Henry Wilson looking for something. Henry Wilson is being stoned. Yeah, they just pushed him right off the ball. Raichapi's now got it, and Massachusetts just looking for somebody, Raichapi, to get going. Oh yeah, careless pass, and Gebhardt comes away with it. And now Syracuse will have a chance to add one more goal on before the end of this half. Take your time, you got a lot of time, just under 30. Syracuse setting up in the offensive end. Jeff Lowe is out there, and now he will check back out. Ryan Powell looking to go to work. To Kutaya. Kutaya winds, fires shot high and wide. Both Casey and Ryan there for backup with 13 seconds left. He took that one right-handed. He took his other 2 left-handed. Here's Casey trying to go to work on Drum. Casey moving in. This is the matchup we talked about. Here comes Casey Powell spinning. Oh my goodness! His shot going just wide as he was quadruple teamed. Yeah, he probably should have given that one up. He took a shot in the head though. Let's see, there's. There, that's the one right there. That was a little high. That was a little high. Yeah, talk about unnecessary roughness, but talk about another Syracuse victory. The crowd here at the Carrier Dome can sense it. Casey Powell has 2 goals. So does Ryan, and so does Matt Kutaya. The Syracuse Orangemen lead the University of Massachusetts Minutemen 8-0. Back with more Syracuse Lacrosse on Super Sports after this. Welcome back to Syracuse Lacrosse on Super Sports. The Orangemen leading the Minutemen by a score of 8-0 in Dale. Syracuse turning in a dominating performance both offensively and defensively. Their defense has been terrific. When you got a nasty defense and a hot goalie, it's a tough combination to beat, and they have been very, very good today. And you got to really give a lot of credit to Gebhardt, the goalie. Watch some of the saves he's made. They haven't been the cheap variety. They're like one-on-ones. There's Madigan with a shot. Nice save. He turns around and gets shortly thereafter. Another shot. Watch the save here. He turns around, finds the ball, gets the stick on it. and just did a great job.
And Dale, great defense is not just about the goaltender, is it?
No, it isn't. And actually, you really have to play a lot of good defense, and you got to do things and create situations where you get the ball back. And Cordisco right there strips number 21 Massey, and he starts it the other way. And that's the kind of thing that the defense, I don't want to say they hadn't been doing it, but I think they were maybe on a little bit of a hiatus, but they sure picked it up today, and they've picked a great time to do it. And you're going to see a nice job by Kutai to take a left-handed shot, and that all came off a defensive strip of the Minutemen.
Syracuse has just had the opening face-off, a little loose ball activity, and Massachusetts will come away with the ball, and both teams reset, or Syracuse, I should say, has the ball, and both teams setting offensively. Syracuse trying to get to work here on the offensive end. This is Vanderpool with the ball. And Vanderpool over to Ryan Powell. Ryan to Casey now. Syracuse trying to reset themselves offensively. In the zone and on the attack. They've been very patient offensively. 8 goals, but they've been extremely efficient on the offensive end.
You're absolutely right. They haven't been forcing them. They haven't all been fast breaks. They've had a couple of nice man-up situations. So Syracuse, all phases of the game look to be working very, very well.
This is Tim Burns now trying to go to work in the slot. Quick shot by D'Arcangelo, save made by Kasalakis. Minutemen trying to get on the board. First they've got to get the ball out of their own zone. A wild errant pass as Syracuse turned it up defensively. Rolls all the way to Gephardt.
He doesn't waste any time starting it the other way. Goes up to Kitaya.
Kitaya moves in on the attack. Fakes, looks, circles behind the net now. He will try to set things up offensively for the Orangemen. Back to Ryan. No, he's faking me out. Whoa, to Vanderpool.
That's his job. Fake out the TV guys.
And now Tim Burns has it.
Oh, open. Oh, Powell was open on a sneak from behind.
Here's Ryan looking, faking, looking, goes down low, shoots and scores. Ryan Powell. 9-0 Syracuse. Ryan's 3rd goal of the game.
Mike Hanna, 19 from UMass, loses Powell. I said it earlier, but then it looked like he was going to stop. Then he comes around. Now there's the hesitation. He lost him, and he puts it right between the legs of Kasalakis. And you're going to see from the floor here what this looks like. He goes subway again, and one hopper very low gives Syracuse a large lead. Powell 3-2. Ryan 9-0 to score.
Big game for Ryan Powell, big game for Casey Powell. Everybody playing well, really, for Syracuse. I mean, just a night and day from their performance against Loyola that we saw last time here on Super Sports.
Yeah, the intensity level is extremely high. And let's take a look at the, well, we'll check the stats in a minute after we get to see this inbounds play by Massachusetts.
And we'll see that unfold, and I think we will see that Syracuse has got the firm upper hand in every department. And now Massachusetts looking to move to the attack. They have been absolutely squelched on the offensive end so far. Del Percio now, as they move the ball around the perimeter and trying to get something going offensively. That's Jeremy Gusky, the freshman, one of the young attackmen for Massachusetts. And maybe their inexperience really showing here. They have got a young attack, a very experienced defense, but their attack has just generated nothing. Here's Alexander riding Gusky on.
Alexander, he just played a great game. They get a double now out of Jeff Lowe. And now somebody's picked up his man, and Lowe gets to come back. Shot, no.
Boy, Del Percio letting one rip. He has 22 goals this year. Outside of the great defenseman Harold Drum, Del Percio probably the best player for Massachusetts. Syracuse leads in shots 22-18. That doesn't really tell the story. Gephardt has been terrific. Syracuse getting better opportunities. The defense has just really forced Massachusetts to do a lot of tough shots. Now long pass out to Del Percio. Del Percio going to work on Marshall Abrams. His shot goes wide.
Not a good shot. Not a good shot. Did not have a good angle, but you're right, Rob. They do not have a lot of shots, good shots, so they're taking what they can. But this is a great matchup here. Alexander is just doing a good job on Gusky, number 30 on number 5. And it's kind of a microcosm of the game. And now they steal the ball. Rule's got it. Going to send it back. No, nice pass.
Pass ahead to Sheedy. And the defensemen doing their work carrying in because we have some long sticks on the offensive end. That's Glatzel. And that's Abrams. And Abrams coughs it up. Now it's a loose ball. Giving chase is Kataya. He's not going to get there in time. It's going to go back to Massachusetts. Well, maybe the defenseman trying to join in the fun a little bit on the offensive end.
There was like 4 big sticks down there playing a little bit of catch. Predictably, the ball gets knocked away from the big stick, and Syracuse will play a little defense now. 11:44 left.
It's 9-0 Syracuse. Roy Simmons looking on. He's got to be pleased. You know, when you talk about the things Syracuse was struggling through there in their loss to Loyola and their loss to Rutgers, Jason Gephardt was not looking sharp. When teams were shutting down Casey Powell to some degree, slowing him down anyway, nobody else was stepping forward, and we've seen Ryan Powell, the big game. Matt Kataya's got a couple of goals. Stuart Smith has scored his first goal this season. John Matthews has pitched in, so other Orangemen getting involved as they did against Pennsylvania as well. And Marshall Abrams checking defensively. This is Raichapi. Raichapi gets in deep, fires high and wide. As he hesitated a little bit there and allowed Abrams to catch back up. On the backup, John Madigan, and the freshman will start to play in. Quick pass, getting rid of the ball. Shot saved by Gephardt. Syracuse looks to break out of their zone and carries it in, and they do.
You might want to slow it down a little bit, get those big sticks off and the short sticks on.
There's Ryan Powell now to Casey. Casey being guarded by Harold Drum. We saw that terrific one-on-one move Casey had against Drum earlier. Drum has only allowed 5 goals this year, and had only allowed 5 goals this year, man-to-man situations until today's game. Casey, the last person to score more than 1 goal. It was last year's game, and Casey had 3 of them against Drum.
Well, we have the brothers Cordisco in.
This is Chris with the ball. Faking a little double team, goes over to Jeff. Jeff back behind to Ryan. Ryan over to Casey. Syracuse working it patiently. 10-10 remains in the 3rd period. Syracuse leads 9-0. This is Matt Kataya now. Kataya looking to go to work on Raichapi. Raichapi checking him back behind the net to Ryan. Ryan long pass out. Cordisco, Chris tried to shoot it before he had it. Tracks it back down and resets offensively. Kataya now to Ryan Powell. Ryan looking.
Had it for a second, had to sneak.
Thought better of it as Massachusetts recovered defensively. Here's Coyote now. Coyote moving in. Coyote spins on Raichapi. His shot, good save. There, a nice save by Kasalakis, and Massachusetts comes up with it. Kasalakis has it now, and he'll look to try to clear. Casey coming in aggressively, and got an unnecessary roughness call on that earlier in the game. Here's Del Percio. But we talked about the pace of play, how Massachusetts was trying to slow it down, and we haven't seen Syracuse with too many fast break opportunities. Massachusetts has kind of been able to dictate the pace to some degree. Oh, a huge collision.
It was a handle check.
And a very late call, and it's going to go back to Massachusetts. They're going to have a man up. And take a look at this.
Watch the check. Watch the check with the handle.
And it was a late collision coming in, I think.
That was the
Chris Cordisco.
Yeah, it wasn't that. that was a little unnecessary. I thought it was the check. It was a good check. But Cordisco trying to plant him beneath the surface of the dome was a little unnecessary.
The illegal body check is, take a look at our Brian Lacrosse scoreboard. Syracuse leading 9-0 with 9:10 remaining. A minute advantage for Massachusetts, who is 0 for 4 on the man up.
That's real good. If you're Syracuse, they're going to bring the ball way out on top, up to Raichapi.
But we were talking about the pace of play, and I think Massachusetts, Greg Cannella can't be too upset with the pace of play. Really, the offense for Massachusetts has just been able to do nothing at all. Absolutely nothing.
And, you got Syracuse has not given them any real clear shots. Like right there, he had the ball open. Syracuse filled in. Look at that.
Loose ball, and John Matthews will pick it up, and he's checked hard, and it looks like that's going to be a penalty against Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So Syracuse will get the ball on a slash. So that diffuses the man-up situation for Massachusetts. Take a look at the play again. It's Matthews checking it down, and we got one right in the kisser. Madigan gets a minute for slashing. As Matt Alexander, I beg your pardon, I'm having trouble discerning between 20 and 30.
It's tough to see those numbers.
Yes, it is. There's Coach Greg Cannella looking on, and he is 30 and 20 in 4 years in Massachusetts, a 60% winning percentage. That will go down after today. It's below 60%. Casey Powell going to work now behind his own net, being guarded by Drum. We haven't seen Casey try to go too much one-on-one. He's been very patient. Vanderpool having trouble picking it up, now being pursued all the way out. Finally, by Soprakasa, finally gets it out of his stick over to Ryan Powell. So Massachusetts sagging back in the zone. It is 5-on-5 Lacrosse right now.
1 second, that will now release one penalty at Syracuse. They'll be man up for about 15 seconds.
Let's take a look at the penalty situation. Syracuse, the more penalized team. Now Syracuse goes to the attack. Here's Ryan Powell looking. Sharp pass over to Vanderpool. Thought Betterman. Spun back around. Now looking. Ira shoots left-handed and scores. Ira Vanderpool gets on the board for Syracuse. They lead 10-0 at the 7:50 mark.
Good left-hand shot, and I think all those shots have taken their toll on number 2, John Kozolakis. That left-handed shot, it's tough to stop, but they didn't have it tracked, and Vanderpool just comes around the left. Just a little short hop shot, and Kozolakis not able to track it down. 10th goal of the season.
Yeah, so a big one for Ira.
Yeah.
It was nice to get into double digits in scoring. Syracuse has done that as well with that goal as Vanderpool scores his 10th. It's the 10th of the game for Syracuse. Face-offs very even, as you can see. 6-5. UMass actually has the edge, but Syracuse has been so good defensively it hasn't hurt them. And of course, we saw the huge edge that Loyola had in that game. The face-offs, that was a big advantage for the Greyhounds in that game. Oh, a huge hit! A huge hit there for Syracuse. And it looked
Deneker.
Yeah, it looked like it was Jason Deneker coming off from his face-off position to unload the big hit. Now loose ball and Syracuse picks back up. This is John Matthews racing in. Matthews looking to exploit. Lost it. Boy, that almost went in. Now a loose ball. They don't know where it is. Casey picks it up. His shot goes wide as he's hammered to the ground. They call him in the crease.
Matt Kutaya talking a little bit with the defenseman here. There was a lot of pushing and shoving because your job as a defenseman when that ball's down in the crease is clear it off. And they just start pushing and shoving everybody in sight, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, Matt Kutaya evidently not used to the treatment that Casey Powell got there, sandwiched by 3 Massachusetts Minutemen. Boy, you talked about that earlier. He does take a beating, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. You have to count the bruises on him after that's over. You know, Kutaya is 6'1", 210. He's a big guy.
He's got a bullseye in his chest. But Kutaya, one of the keys that Greg Cannella talked about before the game and trying to slow down Syracuse. We talked about Kutaya as well as the most likely third option for Syracuse if Massachusetts was able to slow down Powell, Ryan Powell and Casey Powell. They really haven't been able to do that, but Kutaya has still been a factor.
Poor pass. They got Massachusetts on the run now. They're just, you know, when things go bad, they just start to collapse, and that's exactly what happened. Poor pass, and poor Coach Cannell just
pulling his hair out.
What do you do? Well, you know, he looks like he could be in my sophomore homeroom. He's a young-looking guy. He's done a great job with this Massachusetts team, but they're having their problems today.
Massachusetts trying, and it's very difficult now to break into that upper echelon of lacrosse programs. And we saw another program earlier in the year, Loyola, that's been trying to do that, and they've been in there a couple times, but not really able to do it consistently. And Loyola is having one of those kind of years this year, and they expect to have an even better one next year, where maybe they can springboard that to move to within those 5 or 6 top programs: the Virginias, the Syracuses, the Hopkins, the Princetons, that are always up there year after year. Big hard shot by Matthews, and his shot goes wide. And Ryan Powell is back there to throw in for Syracuse at the 5:53 mark. Syracuse leads 10-0. They've outshot Massachusetts 26-16. Face-offs even according to the Carrier Dome scoreboard now at 7 apiece. Here's Matthews moving in, tries to go behind the back. Goes back out to Ryan now. Ryan flips back to nobody. And we'll go back over to Massachusetts.
I don't think the behind the back was an advisable shot on that one. Matthews made the attempt.
Boy, take a look at this. Here is a very telling statistic. Syracuse just just playing almost a flawless game, Dale.
It is. It's a good example of what they're doing right. Obviously, UMass not bad, 10 of 13, but Syracuse just on top of their game. Although right there, Kitaya will be sitting for 30.
Roy Simmons looking on, that familiar cap and the white mane of hair hanging out. Roy must be enjoying himself today. Syracuse playing just an unbelievable game right now against Massachusetts in every facet. Massachusetts 0 for 5 on the power play.
That's a real credit. It tells you that the defense is doing their job. This is going to be tough to stop.
Del Percio with a shot, and finally, Massachusetts in a man-up situation comes up with their first goal of the game.
5:10 left to go in the third quarter before they put one in the hole. Tough shot, as I said, just before it was going to happen. This is going to be tough to stop. He had too much of a lane. Nice move by Gebby, but not enough to stop it. That's a bullet. If you ever gone down there sometime, Rob, get on and watch them when they warm up. The ball looks like you can't even see it. It's like a pill sometimes. And he got a great shot off for UMass. And Gebhardt made the jump but couldn't get the ball.
Del Percio, you mentioned outside of Harold Drum, Massachusetts' best player. 23rd goal of the year that leads Massachusetts.
Give it up, Denneker.
Tries to Casey Powell, and he's being converged and scrambled for the ball. Now Vanderpool knocks it out of Casey's cross, and banging and hitting going on, and Syracuse gets the ball.
Yes, Mothers, lacrosse is a contact sport. Whew. You know, picked up the sound down there. You can hear that titanium and plastic hitting. There's a big stick. Look at this. Bang, and he turned. Ooh, then he gets it the other way. It's kind of like bumper cars.
Oh, the biggest hit was, I think, Kitaya on Casey Powell.
Yeah, right, that happens.
There's Casey now looking for a pick, going to work on Drum, fakes the pass. Now does give it up. Vanderpool will work it around the perimeter to Kitaya. Syracuse should be in no rush, although once you smell blood, it's hard to back off offensively. Now Casey looking to go to work on Drum. Stops quickly. Looking, quick pass, trying to get it through the crease to Devin Tarcangelo, but nice play by Kasalakis. Massachusetts will try to clear now.
Good speed on the defenseman. They're calling timeout because they saw Powell closing in. I said, say good speed, but Powell had an angle, and just before he got there, they said timeout. We don't want to lose this ball.
That is Drum being tired of Casey Powell, or Casey Powell being tired of Drum chasing him all around. Well, Syracuse with such a dominating performance today, they lead by the score of 10-1, and they had been struggling a little bit. Of course, they've been to 15 straight Final Fours. We talked to Coach Roy Simmons about Syracuse's postseason hopes.
I feel fortunate that this team has 3 great games left to get credibility to possibly run the table and make the top 4. If we don't, then we'll have to, go where the chips fall. But we have the opportunity. If we had very little or no schedule left, we'd be in a tough spot right now, being 7. We have a 7-2 record. That's one of the best records in the country.
And Roy Simmons talking about his team's postseason hopes. It doesn't get any easier after Massachusetts with games against Hobart on Wednesday night and Georgetown on Saturday. Those games airing respectively this Friday and Sunday on Super Sports.
Hobart getting beat by Duke, but they have been a top 10 team during the year. This is a good Hobart team, and of course you've always got to play Urick and Georgetown the last game here, and so he's right. He's got a good schedule left, and if you play the nobodies, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble.
And Massachusetts, Georgetown, and Hobart all coming to the Carrier Dome with a sense of desperation. They are 11th, 10th, 8th, respectively, in the country, and really sort of on the bubble, especially Hobart and Massachusetts at the 10th and 11th spots. And Hobart on Saturday was just pummeled at Duke, and that's going to hurt them in the rankings. And it almost feels that they've got to beat either Syracuse or Princeton to get in the tournament. Gusky now ridden hard, and they work it around in the perimeter, and McKeefrey will backpedal, looking for something. McKeefrey being checked there hard by Glatzel. McKeefrey looks, quick shot, and Gebhardt closing down the angle. The shot goes wide, and McKeefrey there first as Hines couldn't find a lane. Good positional job and goal by Gebhardt.
He's got some backup defense. Lisker's in, and Stessen, 29. Gebhardt's got 9. And they've all been good ones.
He's only allowed 1. That shot goes wide, and a race for it, and
It's going to stay Minutemen ball.
Sheedy wonders why. He thought he was there first.
Good jump by the big defenseman.
Well, in a game where 60% saves is very good, Jason Gephardt saving them at a 90% rate today. 9 out of the 10 shots he's faced, he's turned aside. Madigan being checked hard there by Sheedy. Josh Rule now going to work on Jason Hines.
Oh, good shot.
Oh, he just knocked the stick completely out of his hands. Quick flip pass to Gephardt. Gephardt starts the offense back the other way. Here comes Syracuse on the attack. This is, I thought it was Cordisco, but it's not. It's Glisker carrying in, and he will hustle off now.
Defensive short stick, a linebacker on the football team. You got 2 football players out there, Jeff Lowe and Glisker.
Joining the attack, Tim Burns out there now. Syracuse setting things up offensively. Devin Tarcangelo, part of the first attack for Syracuse out there with Casey and Ryan Powell and back to Ty. So that's Syracuse's attack right now. Here's Ryan Powell looking.
Pretty much have stuck with it. I'm sorry, just because they pretty much stuck with that man-to-man the whole game, and it's Syracuse has been able to be patient and get the good shots off.
Canella talked about changing defenses against Syracuse. He said you have to against Casey Powell because he's just too smart. Now Powell going to work on Drum. Drum doing an excellent job, but Casey coming back the other way, working in, and just tried to maybe to do a little bit too much there. The loose ball, quick snap pass is blocked. Boy, that was a nice pass attempt there by Darcangelo, but Kasalakis wasn't going to allow that to come through his crease.
One of the things, Paul, I think he's held on to the ball when you got, all right, he knows one's on him. Here comes the second guy, here's a third. Maybe look, they got a play set up, you know, there's somebody that should be open, and because it's hard for him to see when he's getting smashed and pummeled, so they set up some plays for him just to say, well, if you're in this situation, look out on the wing or look over here. Couldn't see it on that one, very difficult, but they set it up again. Kutaya has the ball.
Kutaya now going over to Tim Burns and back again to Burns, or that's Darcangelo, excuse me. This is Burns now. The pass no good. There'll be a wrestle for it here at the half-court line, and Vanderpool comes away with it. Ira Vanderpool lost it now. Still on the ground. Kicked there by McKeefrey. Trying to keep it alive. Vanderpool's joined the offensive zone for Syracuse. More activity going on, and we're going to have a stop and play. And it is going to go to Massachusetts with exactly 1 minute remaining in the third period. So the Minutemen will have another attempt to try to get themselves on the board. They trail 10-1. Canella's team has really struggled offensively. Mike Del Percio, the only goal that coming just a short time ago, last goal scored in the game, as Syracuse has jumped out to a 10-0 lead. Massachusetts trying to go to work offensively. Not seeing much there. This is Henry Wilson. Wilson over to Negus. And this is Raichapi. Raichapi now faces a double team, looks, and Syracuse sags back.
Alexander says, come on. Boy, they have played tough defense.
Now 20 seconds remain in the third period.
Jeff Lowe, for a guy who's been playing football all spring, doing a good job defensively for the Orangemen.
And in the waning seconds, they will pull it out for one last attempt. This is McKeefrey, and he has it knocked aside. 5 seconds remaining. Massachusetts is not going to get a shot off. That is the end of the third period. Syracuse doing a spectacular job defensively in front of Jason Gephardt. Gephardt running out and patting Glatzel on the fanny. He likes to work, and Roy Simmons must too, in front of Gephardt defensively by Syracuse so far this afternoon. The Syracuse Orangemen lead the University of Massachusetts Minutemen by the score of 10-1. Back with more Syracuse Lacrosse on Super Sports right after this.
A leader and a quarterback out there on the field. He sets up our offense. He knows the matchups, you know, he knows when to go. He kind of lets the game come to him, really. And if he has a short stick, he'll go. If he has a long stick, he'll make a dodge and then move the ball. So I think experienced play and his shooting ability are the keys for him.
Mike Del Percio is the guy that they're talking about, and you're going to see Mike Del Percio. This was on an extra man opportunity, and he stepped up and got the only goal for the Minutemen so far in this game. 15 minutes left. Syracuse up by 9, 10-1. There's Del Percio, 1 goal today.
That's all that Massachusetts has been able to muster. As Denneker comes away with it, the face-off man opting to stay on the attack here. And giving it up now to Casey Powell, and Denneker will pop back out. And Coyote will pop back in, and Syracuse getting their substitutions in order. Casey Powell waiting for some help, and both Cordisco brothers out there, Chris and Jeff, along with Coyote, the Powell brothers, and Matt Kutaya as the 6 men in the offensive zone for Syracuse as they try to go to work on Kasalakis again, and Kasalakis has seen an array of tough shots. Look how patient Syracuse is offensively. They may as well be.
Absolutely.
Coyote now looking. He flashes through and gives it back to Ryan Powell. Ryan looking. We'll go back to Casey. Casey working around the perimeter. And Syracuse content now to just flip it around the perimeter. Looks like UMass still in the man-to-man. They are not coming out as aggressively as they did earlier in the game.
Well, they'll take some chances now and jump for double teams maybe a little sooner than they normally would, because I don't know if they've decided that this is over or they, but Syracuse definitely is in the driver's seat. Now here's the dump, the double team. There's the dump and the shot.
Coyote to Chris Cordisco. His shot no good, but Syracuse plenty of backup there. So they'll retain possession at 13-34 with a 10-1 lead. And this is Casey Powell going to work on drum. That has been a matchup we've been following all game long. And
he is a very good defenseman. There's no doubt about it.
Here comes Casey moving in, tough angle, and nice job. And Casey just driven to the ground. And there'll be a stop and play, and Syracuse will get the ball back. I mean, he took a wallop from Jamie Doherty.
Yep. He doesn't have much of an angle. He takes a left-handed shot, just hits the goalie, and then there's the check that drives Powell down, but
drives him completely out of our screen.
Right. Cameraman lost him on a wide angle shot.
Here's Coyote now. His long hair flopping out of his helmet. Syracuse is outshot Massachusetts 32-23. Remember when Massachusetts had that early edge 7-4, so since then it's been even more dominating for Syracuse. Pass through the crease, eludes the Orangeman, but Jeff Cordisco comes back up with it over to Coyote. 12:45 remaining, and Syracuse leading 10-1 here against Massachusetts, the 11th ranked Minutemen. Number 7 Syracuse, and a dominating win like this should open up some eyes, perhaps for some voters around the country. Quick snap pass, Coyote shoveled, and Kasalakis with a save. Well, the team that Syracuse immediately follows in the polls, Duke, also had something to say on Saturday when they just thrashed Hobart 19-6. Casey Powell to check and carrying through. So Duke is unlikely to slip down in the rankings much with those. Oh, like that! Wow, unbelievable! What a goal by Massachusetts' P.G. Massey on the pass attempt that went past the intended target and just handcuffed Jason Gephardt.
Yeah, I don't think, obviously he did not expect that. It was a pass. You can see there's the look as Massey, 21, just looking for number 48 is who he was looking for. And you know what happened there? He was screened. I'm not making excuses for him. He was screened by his own man cutting across in front of him. As soon as the man cut across, the ball popped off his butt and went into the hole.
And now off the face-off, Jason Denneker giving chase. Matthews also in there. And Massachusetts comes away with it. They will carry in now, trailing 10-2. 11:55 remains. Looking for a quick strike, and they get it. Well, Massachusetts showing some signs of life here as they come up with another goal. Take a look at it again as Jeff Seals, who is basically their face-off man, staying out there and getting the quick goal.
Yep, stick side. And you're going to see right there the finish on the right-hand shot by
Jeff Seals. Yeah,
26, yep.
Second goal of the year for the face-off man. And so now Syracuse, they don't want to give Massachusetts any signs of hope in this game. They'd like to win the face-off here, loose ball. Still battling for it, and Massachusetts is going to track it down. And they'll go on the attack. A long stick out there wielding it, and want that situation, I don't believe.
He'll stay until you can kind of head over towards the substitution area.
Gets it over to Martins. It was Chris Robbins. Talking about that name earlier. Not trying to poo-poo the name of Christopher Robbins, but we were discussing it earlier. And this is getting some groans from the control track. Martins now will control here for Massachusetts as we near the 11-minute mark. Massachusetts has scored the last 3 goals of the game. Syracuse led 10-0. It is now 10-3. Under 11 minutes remain. Quick pass, and Gephardt a big save. Sheedy looks to clear. Knocked down. As Syracuse can't clear, fails to clear for the first time this game. And Massachusetts will reset offensively.
Yeah, they got to pick up now and find everybody.
Here's Del Percio. Del Percio looking to go on the attack. And a beautiful job back-checking there by Glatzel, knocking it out of Janowicz. But Glatzel didn't get the pass from Gephardt, which appeared to be right on his stick. We have a push, and it is going to go back to Syracuse.
Yeah, they're a little sloppy there. Watch Gephardt on this one as they double team, and then the ball's down. What good check? Who was that? Well, that was Glatzel, right? Absolutely, nice check. The ball Syracuse. Back to Massachusetts.
Yeah, they can't get it in. Massachusetts will look to go back on the attack. Cutting in, this is Madigan. His shot goes just wide. I don't know if Jason Gephardt got a piece of that.
He had the pipe covered because he knew that's where it was coming. There wasn't much of an angle.
But suddenly, Massachusetts playing with some confidence. You might think this is too little, too late. Lacrosse is a strange game, though. You start winning some face-offs.
You're right.
Things can happen.
That is the key. Can you win the face-offs?
Gephardt 10 saves. Janowicz going to work on Sheedy now. Flipping back out to Negus. Jay Negus, 5 goals in his last 2 games. He's been blanked here today by Syracuse. And he's being stalked by Matthews. Quick pass, and it goes all the way out. And there's going to be a fight for it. Syracuse is going to come away with it. Here comes Kataya on the attack. Kataya moving in, gives it up, as you mentioned. Powell stolen by Kasalakis. What a save by Kasalakis. Now here comes Negus carrying in for Massachusetts. Janowicz moves in, and his shot is off the mark, and he is punished by Josh Rule after his shot for having the impertinence to move in and try to shoot one on Gephardt.
I think the pass was right. They got the goalie on the other side, but I think Powell should have taken it sooner. He made another fake. He should have gone down low. Easy for me to say. I'm up here in the booth. But that was as nice a save as you'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Kasalakis, let's not forget Kasalakis, a preseason second-team All-American goaltender. I mean, he's one of the finest in the country, so he's going to have his moments.
He had it. That was a great one.
Now McKeefer going back to work for Massachusetts as they slow things down here at the 9-minute mark, down 7 goals. Negus chased by Matthews. Oh, no, it isn't Matthews. I beg your pardon. It's Matt Alexander. I've done that only all game long. Having trouble seeing those 20s and 30s out there.
It is Alexander, and he has played a spectacular game. Short stick defensive midi.
And Massachusetts, this is Janowicz. Janowicz looking to move on Sheedy. Janowicz looking for someone. Sheedy just dogging his every move. Finally, he gives it up to Negus. Way out top here, Saffarelli going to work defensively. Long shot attempt saved by Jason Gephardt. He'll look to pass one out, does to Marshall Abrams. Abrams trying to carry into the zone, and he does for Syracuse. Gives it up now to Alexander.
Abrams stays in, goes down the slot with that big stick.
Oh, Alexander's pass, a good one, apparently intended for John Matthews, so a chance for me to actually see both those guys on the field at the same time.
Matthews to Matthews.
Looked like a pretty good pass from Alexander to Matthews. Roy Simmons looking on. If you take a look, and UMass has turned it on here in the fourth rather. Syracuse out shooting Massachusetts in every frame but this one. Out shooting him for 4 for the game.
One of those shots and one of those goals was a pass that was not seen by Gephardt. He's had such a great game. You hate to see that one happen, and that was breaks of the game.
Watching Rob Mulligan warming up over on the Syracuse sideline. Perhaps he's going to see some time as Syracuse starting to substitute liberally. Actually, Roy Simmons just substitutes liberally all game. Tim Glisker going to work now defensively for the Orangemen, and he is dogging Gusky. Jeremy Gusky, the freshman, who has also not scored today, only 3 goals. PG Massey with that fluke goal. Jeff Seals and Del Percio scoring for UMass.
Look at the job that Lowe is doing on Martins there. He's just playing great defense. He's a kid who's been playing receiver on the football team, comes out in a couple of weeks, has got it right. He's a great player in high school, so.
Good job by Glisker. Now Glatzel comes back the other way, and Glisker and Glatzel hustling onto the offensive end. It's 5-on-4 in the zone right now. Glatzel with a fake. Quick snap pass by Ryan Powell, and it's going to elude Kataya, and it's going to go back to Massachusetts.
See the speed on Glisker as he went down the field. He's a linebacker in football. He's really picking him up and laying him down. Here's the defense. There's the check. That's a dandy check right there. And they went the other way.
Gusky not exactly small at 6 feet 185, but Glisker, 6'3", 220. Just working him over in too much strength as he coughed the ball up. Now back on the attack, 6:35 remaining here in the game, and Syracuse leads 10-3. Gusky again attacked by Glisker. Another save by Gephardt. Syracuse looking to break out of there.
Look at that speed.
Nice job in Syracuse for now settled down as Tom Nee was the one carrying out of the zone there.
You can tell he's got some fresh legs.
Yeah.
He just sprinted with that ball. Nice job by 36 Nee.
Nearing the 6-minute mark in the game. Syracuse leading 10-3. And Matt Kataya going over, as you can see, the man-to-man defense employed. Casey Powell flipping a pass over to Ryan. Syracuse seems content to let some time dribble off the clock.
You know, it's almost, I don't want to say unbelievable, overused word, but rare that you can hold a team, any team, but especially a team like Massachusetts to 3 goals.
Vanderpool now off the penalty. Big save by Kasalakis. Well, Kasalakis maybe hasn't been at his brilliant best today, but he's come up with some terrific saves here in the 4th.
He has, and he's going to have an opportunity to try to save this extra man as they're going to sit Massachusetts down for a minute. The left-handed shot was blocked, body saved by Kasalakis. And Gebhardt's coming out to a nice round of applause. And he deserves it. He had a super game.
Rob Mulligan, the redshirt freshman, will check back in for Syracuse. Gebhardt being congratulated by his teammates. Mulligan played very well in relief of Gebhardt against Pennsylvania, allowing just 1 goal over the last stretch of that game to help Syracuse preserve that victory. Casey Powell darting in, quick pass from Ryan. Not able to convert, and that's going to be a penalty on Casey, too. Oh, Ryan, a big, huge body check. Chris Robbins not happy there.
Gotta love this game. I mean, it combines everything, and you got a nice check there. Stop the fast break. Casey's going to sit for a minute.
I remember having that exact thought as we take another look at this again. That exact thought when I saw the game extensively for the first time at Hobart. How it combined all of the great elements of all the sports. Some of the cutting and moving of basketball, some of the physical play of hockey and football, and the eye-hand coordination that is required in of all top athletes. It's a remarkable sport in combining all those elements.
And the conditioning.
Yeah.
Hauling your keister up and down this, going from offense to defense, immediately. And
much like soccer that way, to draw another goal, draw another sport into our comparison. Rob Mulligan, that save percentage, very strong.
Yeah. He's still stretching out there. Another left-handed goalie.
Redshirt freshman out of Ballston Lake, New York, went to, or I beg your pardon, Farmingdale, New York.
So they're even. Both guys went down. I thought, so they're both down a man. Obviously, the way they're playing defense.
Just 10 seconds left now. 5 seconds remaining in the Massachusetts penalty, so they're going to get a quick man advantage of about 15 seconds or thereabouts. Janowitz being hammered there by Sheedy. Now a double team. Finally, Janowitz gets away with it, but Syracuse doing a good job recovering.
Oh, good save.
Del Percio, a big shot. Mulligan makes the save. And Abrams comes away with it. Flipped it back over his head. I thought he lost it. I guess that was a pass. Here's Alexander now. Ryan Powell, quick pass to Kataya. Oh, beautiful work by the Orangeman, and John Ancelone with a goal, his 5th of the year. So unselfish by Syracuse. They now have a 11-3 lead.
Goalie hurt a little bit there, Rob. Let's see what happened. But nice look away. Kataya right across the crease, and then a fake down and then up by number 45 Ancelone out of Dix Hills High School in New York on Long Island. Puts it in the upper right, upper 90.
Ancelone with his 5th of the year. Kaselakis. Boy, Syracuse has had so much the better of the shot opportunities as far as quality goes. They've gotten in much deeper on Kaselakis, and now just stripping the face-off away is Seals, and Mulligan gets it behind his own net. He's being pursued there. Gives it up. Oh, nice acrobatic
grab by Lowe. He's at Liverpool High School. He was recruited probably just as much for lacrosse as he was football.
Lost it carrying in there. Lowe, a wide receiver, used to making those good grabs. He has great hands.
Yes, he does.
Showing it there as well. Soft hands corralling that pass from Mulligan.
His dad, the head trainer here at Syracuse University.
And stop and play, and Syracuse will have it. We'll go on the attack once again. They lead 11-3, 3:42 and counting remaining in the 4th and final period of play. Syracuse, a dominating effort on both the offensive and defensive ends. Jason Gephardt, the goalie, rebounding from a subpar stretch for him and turning in a stellar performance today against the Minutemen.
Another guy that's had a good one right there is Kataya, number 8, and defensively you got a lot of people to mention. The whole close defense.
There's Ryan Powell looking, flip pass to Kataya. Kataya winds, fires a high, hard one, goes up too high. And Kataya, we talked about him at the beginning of the game, somebody having to pick up the slack in case they could shut down Casey and Ryan Powell. Casey and Ryan have been effective, but so has Matt Kataya with a couple of goals today. Here's Tim Burns. Burns got the start today, the freshman. Flipping back out, and he was checked there, so his pass goes awry, intended for Kataya. And with 3:01 remaining, Massachusetts will pick up the attack.
Attendance is
4,124 people in attendance today at the Carrier Dome.
We thank you all very much.
We expect a big crowd, maybe the biggest of the year, for the Hobart game on Wednesday night.
Always a great game.
So Massachusetts will now reset on the attack. This is Henry Wilson looking in. His shot goes past Mulligan. Backing up on the play is McKeefrey, and Massachusetts will toss it in again. Starting with McKeefrey. McKeefrey trying to go to work on Glatzel. Quick flip pass, quick shot on. It's off the mark. Mulligan giving chase, trying to get there first. And
good speed.
It will go back to Syracuse. And Mulligan jumping for joy.
Good speed on Mulligan.
Now start to play. Mulligan's got the ball. He's made a pair of saves.
Yeah.
So pretty limited action, is 62.5% save percentage. If he does that next year as the team starter, that will get him All-American consideration.
Yeah, it sure would.
This is Chris Cordisco now. The Cordisco brothers, 2 sets of brothers, the Powells obviously, and Jeff and Chris Cordisco. There's Matt Kataya to Casey Powell, being dogged by Drum. Drum really has done a pretty good job on Casey Powell.
As has Powell done a good job. I mean, they're both 2 great athletes, and you got the kind of matchup, and you got the results that you expected.
Yeah, Drum, an excellent man defender. As we mentioned at the beginning of the game, has allowed only 5 goals all season long in the man situation. As Casey gets one raked in the face.
Calls a brush.
Looked at the refs, and
the ref said it was a brush.
Time winding down, 1:35 remaining in the game. As Casey just wandering around, looks like he wants to go to work on Drum. Drum equal to the task so far. Casey finally gives it up to Kataya, over to Ryan Powell. 1:22 remaining in the game. Syracuse content to work it around and let the clock dissolve. Now somebody else will take a shot at Casey Powell. That's Jamie Doherty. Maybe Doherty said, hey, listen, I'm a senior. I want a shot at Casey Powell. And he strips him. have a stop and play, but a hold called, and they go back to Syracuse. And Doherty says, "I've done my thing."
Yeah,
I can say I guarded the best player in the country.
You go back and take him.
So Casey Powell watches Ryan goes to work. You know, we are looking on the offensive end here, obviously, for the Syracuse Orangemen. On the other end, Rob Mulligan checking into the game for Syracuse. He is their goaltender heir apparent. He'll replace Jason Gephardt next year.
Well, this fall deserves a chance to get in a ball game, a tight ball game. And at the time we put Robbie in, we had 4-goal cushion, I believe, and he let one up right away. But we weren't pulling Jason to reprimand him. We were pulling him to say thanks for the 3 periods, and we're going to let Robbie play a period, and we got a lead, and I think we can handle it if you play up to your capabilities. And he did. He came up with some nice saves and some nice outlets.
Yeah, only 1 goal surrendered in that Pennsylvania game in that 4th period. Syracuse had a 4-goal lead, which is certainly not a game in the books, and Mulligan getting a shot of confidence from Roy Simmons. Roy taking a look forward to next year, seeing what Mulligan's got, and Mulligan doing an excellent job responding to the challenge and helping Syracuse preserve that win against Pennsylvania. Here's Vanderpool now. And Syracuse up a man, and they shoot and they score.
A bounced off a player from Massachusetts.
I think Vanderpool might get credit for it. We'll have to wait to see who gets credit for the goal.
Well, whoever's listed first in the book gets credit for the goal. So there's the... Yeah, it was off a Massachusetts stick.
The last one to touch it for Syracuse was Devin Darkangelo. So I'm going to assume Darkangelo will get credit for it.
No, I was serious. If they don't know, it's the guy who's listed the first attack man in the book gets credit for it.
And Darkangelo does indeed get credit for it. Otherwise, Ryan Powell would have picked up a cheapie. And he doesn't need any of those. He can get them on his own just fine, thank you. And Syracuse is winding down the last moments of the game. Ryan Powell with a 12-3 lead is just going to run out the clock. 5 seconds remain, 4 now. Counting down, we have a penalty called. Ryan just going to hang on to it, gets a little shove from Doherty. But that is the ball game. Syracuse with an absolutely dominating effort against 11th-ranked Massachusetts. Casey Powell, a pair of goals. Ryan Powell, his brother, also scored a couple, as did Matt Kataya. Jason Gephardt was terrific for Syracuse between the pipes. Roy Simmons has to be extremely pleased with the way his team played this afternoon, Dale.
They played great defense. They played great midfield defense. They played great close defense. That's just as impressive as their offensive showing. Great job by the defense today.
Syracuse beats Massachusetts. The final score, 12-3 today at the Carrier Dome. Back with some final thoughts right after this. Welcome back to the Carrier Dome, where the Syracuse Orangemen have defeated the University of Massachusetts Minutemen by a score of 12-3. And Dale, just briefly, a very impressive win for the Orangemen against the 11th-ranked Minutemen.
They did everything they had to do, and I'm sure they can build on it. They've got a tough rest of the schedule to fill out, so it's not over yet, but this is a good way to start.
Syracuse taking on Hobart and Georgetown in their next 2 games, so a couple of ranked opponents as they try to get themselves back up into the top 4 in the country. And the Statesmen coming into town Wednesday. We will air that game Friday, May 1st at 8 o'clock. So that is next up for the Syracuse Orangemen. For Dale Drypolcher and for all the crew at Super Sports, I'm Rob King. Thanks for joining us.